What's up, Pack fam? This your boy, Mr.CheckMyResume. I'm here to drop on you my 0-day watch list for November 26th. And so we're going to get right into it. I wanted to make this video separate, mainly because, for one, I have a pretty decent sized list, and two, I pre-recorded my Strat 101 sessions for today. So there won't be a live session to go through this list. So I wanted to at least give you all a heads up on kind of what I'm looking at and provide a little context where I can. So kicking right into it, I want to jump into a play that we've been in for the last, 4 or 5 weeks. Dollar Tree. We took entry on Dollar Tree on the week of October the 11th, and we've just been on just a huge breakout with Dollar Tree. And right now what I'm looking at is a potential 212 on the 4-hour for Dollar Tree tomorrow, as you can see here, which would give us continuation on the day above 149.37. So we're looking to take that entry point here at the 146.70 level. That'll be our entry point. I'm looking at November. I'm looking at 150 calls. And if we do get some really strong movement, maybe the 155s, but 150 calls for tomorrow or November 26th are kind of what I'm looking at on Dollar Tree. And that is one of my, I guess you could say, higher convicted plays, I guess you could say. The next one on the list here, sticking with the XLY theme, and that's Target. As well, consumer discretionary stock in XLY. We are 2 down on the week, but we do have double inside days that we had from Tuesday and Wednesday. So we're looking for a little bit of reversal. We're looking for a reversal back to the upside here. My entry on Target on the day is 249.62. But if you're looking for that 4-hour entry, you want to get in at 249.21 would be the 4-hour trigger. And then you've got the 2112 on the day above 249.62. And so those are your 2 trigger levels. The price action is really close on those. And I'm looking at the $250 calls for Friday, and they're currently at 79 cents as of yesterday's close. And then also, if you're, a little bit further out, it's a 250 call, and that was at 35 cents. So Target's another one that I feel very strongly about. It is a stock that performs well on Fridays. So looking to see if we continue that theme tomorrow. Next one I have is American Eagle Outfitters. This one here is strictly off of what I've seen on the charts. I actually have never played this stock before, so I'm really interested to see how it moves and how it performs. So I'm looking to take an entry on the 4-hour above 28.27. And then also you have a daily trigger, which will complete a 312, and that's above 28.62. And so the American Eagle Outfitters looks very solid. We've got an outside week going, and we had a reversal on the month. So we are in an uptrend right now, and I'm looking at the 28.50 calls for tomorrow, and they're currently at 23 cents. And if you're a little bit risky, then maybe the 29 calls that are currently at 15 cents. So American Eagle Outfitters is another one that looks solid. I may take it just to just gather some information on it. Really like the way the setup looks. The next one here that I have is XPEV. And if you've been tracking with us, we've been playing semis, and not semis, but EVs for a while. I'd say almost since the time we opened the pack. And this one in particular, XPEV, we are in an uptrend, and it looks like we have a 212 potential on the 4-hour. Our entry level on the 4 is above 54.80. That is our only trigger on XPEV. It's already in continuation on the other time frames. So I'm looking for that one trigger, and I'm looking at the $55 call for tomorrow, and it's currently at 68 cents. So definitely like the way that XPEV sets up there. And another EV, and this one I'm actually in. I've been in this one I don't know, maybe 2 months now. We got into Lee on the week of October the 4th. And so we've just been, kind of steadily heading up in the uptrend. So right now on Lee, I'm looking at a 212 on the 4 hour. The trigger level is 32.85. Would be my entry level. And then on the day, we have a 212 potential above $33.06. So I really like when those two triggers are close in proximity in terms of underlying price. That really likes to push those stocks in upward mobility. So definitely like to set up on Lee. I'm already in this play. So if it triggers for, I'm not in 0 days, but I'm in this one for 12/17 contracts. So if it does trigger, I will most likely take the trigger and see how it performs. But I'm expecting some decent movement out of that one. Moving on to the next one, we have Ford, our buddy Ford, AKA Bronco. We're looking at Ford right now. We have a potential 212 on the 4 hour. Your level for entry is above $20.32. As you can see here, we didn't have much action in the afternoon candle, slightly red. And then on the day, we have a 122 potential. And your level for entry on the day is above $20.34. So you could essentially sit and wait a few minutes or wait a little bit to see, wait for it to break the level. Definitely like to set up on Ford. I'm looking at the 20.5 calls for tomorrow. They're currently at 9 cents. And then also the $21 calls, and those are at 3 cents. So obviously, the further out the money, you just got to take the pop and then take the money from those. The closer to the monies are the ones next to the money. You can kind of stay in those a little bit longer. Moving on to consumer staples, I have Procter & Gamble. This is another one that I'm in as well. We are in Procter & Gamble contracts. We entered on the week of November 1st. We are currently in an uptrend on this one. As you can see, we had an inside day on Wednesday, and we have an inside bar on the 4 hour. So we're looking at a 212 potentially. Your level for entry, the trigger point is 148.81. And then on the day, we have a potential 212 above 148.88. Those are your two trigger levels for Procter & Gamble. The contracts I'm looking at are the 149 calls for tomorrow at 30 cents, as well as the 150 calls at 10 cents. So really like the way Procter & Gamble, as well as the XLP sector, have been performing. Consumer staples have just been going nuts. So really like that. Next one I have on my list is Walmart, another XLP stock, consumer staples. Walmart, we are currently in an inside week, but it looks like we are in the midst of reversals on the smaller time frames. So we're looking at the 4 hour, we have the 212 potential. On the 4 hour above 146.65. I'm looking at the 147 calls for tomorrow. And those are currently at 37 cents. And then I'm also looking at the 148 calls, and those are at 18 cents. Typically with Walmart, I like to stay close as I can to the money. So, but if XLP continues how it's been behaving over the past few weeks, I expect this one to continue, continuation there. So definitely like Walmart. And here's a quick shout out to the Coke boys. We got KO on the list for tomorrow. We've got a potential 212 on the 4 hour above 55.50. And then on the daily time frame, we've got a potential 22 rev, and that's above 55.84. And as far as contracts for tomorrow, the 55.5 calls are currently at 13 cents, and the 56 calls are currently at 4 cents. So those contracts are very cheap. They'll pop. So you see profits, take profits. Moving on. Now we're moving over to communication services. First one I'm going to look at here is Fubo. And on Fubo, we have a 212 potentially on the 4-hour above 2132. We'll zoom in here a little bit. And then on the day, we're just in continuation. So we're just looking for a 2 up on the day. But Fubo looks like we're in the midst of trying to do a reversal. So looking at Fubo as well for tomorrow. Another one, a lot of people are buying this up because it is now at a very low level, and that's skills. A few of my common stock folks are really talking about skills and the buying opportunity here at this level. So this one also came up on my list. So I'm looking at skills, a couple different trigger points here. I got a 312 on the 4-hour above $9.82. And then I have a 22 rev potentially on the day above $9.93. I'm looking at the $10 calls for tomorrow. They're currently at 10 cents, and that's the only contract in that chain that I would consider taking. Some stocks have multiple contracts you can play, and some only have one, maybe two. Next one out of communication services is Disney. This is an XLC stock. We're looking at, let me zoom in here. We've got 212 on the 4-hour potentially, and it looks like we have a 22 rev on the day potentially. So on Disney, you have the 4-hour trigger above 151.38. And then on the daily level, we have a trigger of 151.41. So those trigger points for Disney are 3 cents apart. So that's not anything to disregard or not pay attention to. Disney has 2 triggers that are very close. So definitely one. The fact that XLC has kind of been wobbling, I'm not sure. So we'll have to see how it opens up for futures tonight and going into the morning. Moving on to XLK stocks. We are now done with communications. We're going to not even XLK, IT information technology stocks. First one on that list is an XLK stock, and that's QCOM. So pull my screen and zoom in here. All right, so QCOM, we have a 212 potentially on the 4-hour above 180.75. Get this, on the day, we have a 212 as well on the day above 180.78. So again, we've got 3 cents between daily and 4-hour triggers. That is super fire. We just need XLK to continue pushing upwards. It's been kind of sideways this week, but we'll see what happens. And then I'm looking at the 182.50 calls for tomorrow. They're currently at 66 cents. Next one on the list, sticking with the IT theme, is Oracle. This chart looks really good on the smaller time frames. Definitely met my criteria, so I wanted to highlight it here. Again, I don't take every trigger on my list. I take the ones that I've, obviously, move the best, when that happens. So I don't have my mindset on which ones I'm going to take or not. But here on Oracle, another XLK, we've got a 312 on the 4-hour, potentially above 93.64. And then also on the daily time frame, we've got a 22 rev potentially above 93.70. So again, these 2 trigger points are pennies apart. We should have some real good movement if these things trigger tomorrow. I'm looking at the $94 calls right now, currently at 28 cents, as well as the $95 calls that are currently at 8 cents. So Oracle, again, if it triggers, it's one to definitely keep tucked in and close. If it goes, it's gonna go. Next one I have is Nokia. If you all know, we're in the January's. Boss Game is in the $6. I'm in the $7 for January. We're sitting on this one long, but looking at for tomorrow, we got the 212 on the 4-hour. That's above 86.77. And the contracts I'm looking, hold on. Oh, I put the wrong level, sorry. Nokia, the level is $5.76 on the on the 4-hour trigger for Nokia. And I'm looking at a couple different contracts. One is the 5.5 calls, they're at 28 cents. And also the $6 calls, they're at a penny right now. I would probably focus on the 5.5s until you actually got movement on the stock. Once the stock moves, then you can look at those $6 calls, but there's no bid on those $6 calls right now. Moving on. Next one. Now we're going to get into a couple of, well, actually one crypto stock here, and that's Mara. As you all know, we entered Mara a few weeks ago. We hit a top, and now we've been reversing the last couple of weeks. But we entered Mara on the week of October 4th. We ran from, what is our trigger point? $37 essentially to 83. Oh, and then, you know, we took the 212 again, like 2 or 3 weeks ago for another alert, and we got a second pop. So now we're reversing back to the downside. So looks like it hit this broadening formation, and now it's trying to reverse back to the upside. So that's why we're seeing this upward movement on the 4-hour and the day as well. So we've got a couple different triggers, setups available here. Really got to watch and see how things open up for crypto and stuff pre-market, but we're looking at a 312 on the 4-hour above 52.47. And then on the day, we're looking at a 122 reversal back to the upside above 52.65. I'm looking at the $53 calls that are currently at 99 cents. And then I'm also looking at the $54 calls that are currently at 62 cents. So keep that one on watch. Definitely one that, it's been going, now it's reversing. So we'll see if we found the bottom there. Next one is ChargePoint. ChargePoint is an industrials stock. They're in the EV space. And what we have here on ChargePoint is a potential 312 on the 4-hour, and that's above $26.26. And then on the day, here on my top right, we have a 22 rev above 26.34 on the day. I'm currently looking at the $27 calls. They're at 15 cents currently. And then I'm also looking at the $28 calls that are at 4 cents. So like similarly, as I talked about with Nokia, those $28 calls, really, you really want to jump in those 27s first. And if the 28, if things start to move, then the 28s will be a good one to hop into. Now, I did look at a few things and notice a few trends in terms of sectors. So I wanted to highlight a couple things. Airline stocks. I won't go into particular setups, but I will show you a couple. I think the best looking ones that I've seen are Love, which is Southwest Airlines. They have the 212 setup. They pretty much all the airlines have inside 4-hour setups. I think Love and AAL have the best looking charts, but they all have similar looking setups. So you've got potential 2-2 reversals on the day, or 3-2-2 reversals on the day, as well as 2-1-2 or 3-1-2 reversals on the 4-hour. So they all similarly, and they all have the 4-hour setup. They just, some may be 3s and some may be 2s. Next group of stocks that I noticed were energy oil stocks. The best looking ones I saw, I think it was XOM. Yeah, XOM was probably the best looking one that I saw. But again, 312s were predominantly what I saw a lot for those oil energy stocks: XOM, XOP, MRO, DVN. FANG also looked really good, as well as ConocoPhillips COP. So energy oil stocks definitely look solid. I didn't want to add them to the list. There was just too many. They all had similar looking charts. Some better than others. And then the next one, moving on from oil, is cannabis industry, cannabis sector stocks. They all have inside 4-hour setups as well. Many of them, I think the best looking ones were Tilray, ACB. But again, you got CGC, Sundial, Hexo. There's a few others, Chronos, that potentially have decent looking setups. But I saw the 4-hour insides on a lot of those. So those will be ones to consider as well. I know a few of the PAT members are in those. So that concludes my list for tomorrow. It's a pretty sizable list. I think that we're gonna have bullish action tomorrow. And so with that, we're seeing that being reflected in the setup. So, what we can do is just, do your homework tonight, kind of determine which ones you're going to play no matter what, and focus on those. And if something doesn't go according to plan, you've got some backups to hop into if necessary. So spend your time this evening with the fam, enjoy, and rank these things, rank them. Kind of do first tier, second tier, and so on and so forth. So sector movement pre-market will determine a lot in showing us how things will open up. So with that, family, I'm gonna let y'all go. Have a great turkey day and enjoy the time with the family. I'm gonna catch y'all in the morning. Peace.